Today on Investigate TV Plus, it's a high-tech solution to a critical task, growing enough food for an expanding global population.
What we're trying to do is bring back the small farms and bring them right into communities.
How companies are cultivating crops to thrive indoors and creating a reliable food source in city centers.
You're just popping in your mouth. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Plus, why some experts say starting small might be the secret to these unique farm success.
Then, when temperatures start to rise, cities test potential solutions to keep neighborhoods cooler. I'm Elise Urich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. We explore if covering streets in reflective material is worth the cost.
I think a lot of people are excited that the city is doing something to address urban heat.
And a family shattered by addiction.
The one thing I didn't want to ever forget was how his hand looked and felt in mine.
Uses their grief to create a lasting legacy that aims to save lives.
He was so much more than an addict, so much more.
See how they're arming police with partners that can sniff out hidden narcotics.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. 2050 may seem like the distant future, but it's closer than you might think.
By then, it's estimated the world will need to produce about 60% more food to feed a global population of more than 9 billion people.
Experts say meeting that demand will require a rethinking of the food supply. And in recent years, there's been increased interest in so-called vertical farms as a way to help address food insecurity in the U.S. and beyond.
But as this emerging industry looks to take root, reporter Heather Graff explores what it will take to succeed and finds there are highs and lows to what some see as the future of farming.
An old brick building on the outside.
We started in 2022.
But on the inside,
Perfect.
what was once a warehouse
We can kind of take over any space.
is now a fully functional farm.
We are harvesting turnips.
No rolling fields of crops in this setting. Instead, everything grown at Area 2 Farms is part of a vertical operation, stacked in layers inside a shelving unit that stretches from floor to ceiling.
Well, we grow over 180 different varieties of plants here.
Community manager Jackie Stanton explains it's a type of controlled environment agriculture known as vertical farming. And here in Arlington, Virginia, their fresh produce is then sold through a weekly delivery service to local customers who live within 10 miles of this indoor farm.
I think my favorite part is just watching their eyes light up and be like, wow, this is what real food tastes like. The biggest benefit is being close to the consumer.
Jackie says it's a game changer when you consider a lot of foods in the U.S. travel thousands of miles before they get to your plate.
Our mission is to move the farm, not the food.
Even the USDA, in this 2018 write-up about vertical farming, said that producing fresh greens and vegetables close to urban populations could help meet growing global food demands.
The vision is to grow more in a smaller space, right? And the only way you can do that is by growing vertically.
Eric Stein is executive director at the Center of Excellence for Indoor Agriculture and says there's actually a long list of potential upsides to vertical farming.
So one, typically, because you're in a controlled environment, you typically don't have to use pesticides, right? Secondly, the water will be recycled. You'll use about only 10% of the amount of water that you would use in a field setting.
And since they're indoors, vertical farms are considered largely climate-proof and can thus produce food year-round. Even so, Stein often warns the industry is not without risk. In recent years, several big vertical farm companies have struggled financially. For instance, Plenty Unlimited filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in March of 2025, just 6 months after touting the opening of its massive, high-tech vertical strawberry farm in Virginia. At the time of the filing, Plenty's interim CEO released a statement that said in part, "Our company is not immune from larger market dynamics and the fundraising challenges facing our industry."
Why are we seeing some vertical farms go under?
A lot of reasons. We start with investment capital costs. Some of the larger indoor farms have gotten upwards of $1 billion. In my opinion, that's a mistake. Unrealistic expectations. And they were sold the idea that they were going to have 5x, 10x on their money within, say, 3 to 5 years. It's just simply not true.
And among the biggest hurdles to a vertical farm's profitability, Stein says, are high energy costs.
Energy in the form of the lighting, because you're going to be using typically artificial lighting, which is going to be very expensive. Plants need about 10 times the amount of light that we do.
So you can see that the plants move on these wheels right here.
Back at Area 2 Farm, Stanton showed us how their vertical farm has been designed to try to minimize lighting costs, using a conveyor belt system to mimic the 24-hour cycle of darkness and light that a plant would normally experience outdoors.
The bottom 2 layers of our farm are not lit, and once the plants come onto the 3rd layer, they'll get their breakfast, they'll get their light for the day, and the plants just heat up as they circle throughout the system.
So are the plants constantly moving?
About every 2 hours they move.
Why is that important?
We've actually reduced about 25% of our light due to the bottom 2 layers of our farm not being lit. Just like the basement in your house, it's very cool, and then the top level of your house is warmer. We just use the natural heat rising of the room.
If it sounds a bit complicated, Stanton admits it can be, and says their team is working constantly to streamline and improve its techniques.
Investing a lot of money into an indoor farm and you're not doing anything different than field farming is where a lot of these businesses are failing.
In the meantime, there is some help on the way in the form of research.
We're trying to look at it as a multidisciplinary problem area.
Carrie Mitchell is a professor of horticulture at Purdue University, one of several schools partnering on a federally funded initiative called Optim-IA, or Optimizing Indoor Agriculture.
It's not just a technology, it's not just a crop, it's the economics of it, it's putting it together.
So with a goal of making vertical farms sustainable long-term, Mitchell says he's been working to develop new LED lighting strategies that could increase crop yield and reduce energy costs.
Is the industry eventually going to succeed? Yes, it is. But it's not going to come overnight.
What would your advice be to companies who are perhaps considering getting into vertical farming?
Start small, for sure.
Many of them sized their businesses way too large.
The experts and this local vertical farm in agreement on that final point.
We have about 10 people on staff.
In an industry with sky-high ambitions, perhaps bigger is not always better.
In the last few years, vertical farms have also been eyed as a potential solution to help fill empty office buildings and commercial space in urban areas. You'll remember a lot of cities struggled with that following the COVID-19 pandemic and a big shift to remote work.
When we asked industry experts about the possibility, we heard mixed reviews. Ultimately, most said it depends on the size of the building. For example, in Arlington, Virginia, the vacant warehouse that Area 2 Farms moved into was a perfect fit. But if you're talking about a large office tower in the middle of a city, the Center of Excellence for Indoor Agriculture said it might not make sense.
Basically, the money spent on rent and converting an office space that large could likely get really expensive really quickly.
Up next, parents with purpose. Meet the couple working to prevent other families from experiencing the pain of losing a child to overdose.
Our intent is to take the bad guys and the drugs off the streets.
How they're helping police departments fill a void on the force.
Then later, we get a behind-the-scenes look at an underwater world to see how scuba divers are keeping habitats clean for curious visitors. Dogs are valuable partners to police. Experts say their highly developed sense of smell enables them to track down hidden drugs.
While research suggests narcotics detection dogs are considered effective, not every police department in the U.S. can afford a trained team.
But after the loss of their son to an overdose, one Missouri family has made it their mission to help get more drugs off the street by arming more officers with canines.
Reporter Caroline Hecker shows us how their son's legacy is saving lives.
When he was little, he just knew he was going to be a carpenter.
Memories are all Melinda and Adam Hendricks have of their son Justin.
We were the all-American family.
In 2017, everything changed.
He was in our basement when we found him. And we did CPR until the paramedics got here. And they revived him with 4 doses of Narcan.
But it wouldn't be enough. Justin had overdosed on heroin, his brain without oxygen for too long. They made the decision to take him off life support, but not before capturing this photo.
It's kind of ironic that it says live and learn. But the one thing I didn't want to ever forget was how his hand looked and felt in mine.
The months that followed were full of grief that morphed into action. They founded Justin Delivers Hope, JDH, for Justin David Hendricks.
Our intent is to take the bad guys and the drugs off the streets. So hopefully it doesn't make it into the hands of the children.
It started with handing out Narcan. Now it helps fund canine programs at local police departments.
Audie, find it.
Audie and Attila are the newest additions to the St. Peter's Police Department, all thanks to a $70,000 donation from Justin Delivers Hope.
Audie!
The department hasn't had a canine since 2006, when Mike Edwards was Canine Bruno's handler. Nearly 20 years later, he'll oversee the program.
I mean, I've been in it for 32 years and seen a lot, done a lot, and for sure it's the most rewarding part of my job.
Get down on the ground!
Officers Devin Cottrell and Ryan Welshmeyer are Audie and Attila's handlers. They train daily for everything from apprehending a suspect to finding drugs, a key mission of Justin Delivers Hope.
Having dogs and now getting more narcotics off the street definitely helps.
For the last 20 years, that used to mean calling a nearby department to borrow its canine. If one wasn't nearby, they often had to let the person and potential drugs go.
It is a solid peace of mind to know that he's in the back seat, that he's ready to come to my aid should the situation arise.
In 7 years, the 22 canines donated by JDH have helped get 98 pounds of fentanyl off our streets. And that is all Melinda and Adam could ask for.
He was so much more than an addict. So much more.
As of October 2025, Justin Delivers Hope has donated $773,000 toward canine programs in the St. Louis area.
Still to come, coating city streets with cool pavement. It's a strategy to combat higher temperatures in urban areas, but it's having mixed results. We examine the possible drawbacks to covering roads in the lighter material.
Plus,
Hi there.
How many fish in there?
30 or more.
See how a donation from a scuba diver is inspiring the next generation of underwater enthusiasts. American cities are sprawling with high-rises, houses, and highways.
Yeah, but all that concrete and asphalt trap the sun's heat more than natural landscapes. And experts say it can contribute to higher temperatures in urban areas, creating what's known as heat islands.
We've largely found that areas with really wide streets, very low buildings, and not a lot of trees, and a lot of things like parking lots tend to be the places that are the very warmest.
The Environmental Protection Agency explains higher temperatures can lead to an increase in energy consumption and put people in cities at a higher risk of heat-related illness or death.
But the EPA reports cities can take steps to help cool neighborhoods down. This includes coating streets with a more reflective material that's lighter in color, known as cool pavement. With triple-digit heat expected for months each year, the city of Phoenix, Arizona is testing the potential solution, but we've uncovered the treatment has had mixed results.
Reporter Amy Cutler takes an in-depth look at why, despite some bumps in the road, the city continues to move forward with the program.
Crews spent the morning prepping this stretch of road off 19th Avenue, south of Camelback, putting down this shiny gray coating. The city paused the program last year, citing issues with the product it was using. They've since partnered with another company and are using 2 different coatings.
Now we're catching up and getting back on track.
Ryan Stevens is an engineering manager with Phoenix. He continues to tout the benefits. We started looking into cool pavement back in 2023, finding some trade-offs.
So let's check it out. The asphalt is 153 degrees, as you can see. We move that to the cool pavement. It's 144 degrees, 145.
ASU's research found 6 feet off the ground, the air temperature was only 0.3 of a degree cooler during the day and only half a degree cooler at night.
We say it as a success because even a half a degree Fahrenheit reduction in air temperatures can substantially reduce energy use for air conditioning and water use.
ASU's study also found the light reflected off the road makes it hotter for pedestrians. Then there's the price. The city admits it's 3 times as expensive as the traditional coating. Then there are questions about how it's wearing. We stopped by 5 different locations that have been treated with it over the last 4 years. We asked Stevens about that.
We're always monitoring the performance.
He says it should last 8 years. And there's another benefit. The cooler surface temperature better protects what's under the road.
What have you been hearing from neighbors that live on these roads where it's being put down?
I think a lot of people are excited that the city is doing something to address urban heat.
We also decided to check in with neighbors.
You know, I think it's an incremental change. I don't really have any problem with it.
I don't know if I really noticed a difference. It does make the street look nicer.
The city of Phoenix said in the last 5 years they've installed at least 140 miles of cool pavement. Taking a closer look at the ASU study, researchers found people walking on cool pavement felt as much as 5.5 degrees hotter. That's because they absorbed the sunlight reflected off the road. But they call it a necessary trade-off.
I think that concern is easily outweighed by the benefits of the cooler air temperatures.
Up next, it's a dirty job, but divers are volunteering to do it.
2 divers will either be cleaning glass, they could be vacuuming, cleaning the walls of some of the algae.
See how scuba staff at a zoo keep animal habitats clean.
When you think of scuba diving, you probably picture coral reefs and tropical fish in the Caribbean, but there's an underwater world thriving at the Oregon Zoo in Portland. That's where divers volunteer to venture beneath thousands of gallons of water to help keep the habitats clean.
Reporter Bonnie Silkman gives us a behind-the-scenes look at their work and how they're finding a new way to connect with guests.
Welcome to the Oregon Zoo.
Here at the zoo, water is central to life, a habitat and a playground.
Everything we're looking at here is native to the Northwest.
And to keep these underwater worlds clean,
our team is operating dives every day.
These guys are diving in.
2 divers will either be cleaning glass, they could be vacuuming, cleaning the walls of some of the algae.
Micah Reese is the Oregon Zoo's dive safety officer.
I grew up in south central Alabama, kind of landlocked and nowhere to really scuba dive.
This is a hard wire to the surface.
But now he's found his own ocean in Portland. And today he's suiting up alongside David Steinberg.
We are about to get wet.
One of the zoo's many longtime dive volunteers. Ready for the cold water, the pair drops in to the kelp forest habitat, packed with fish from the Pacific Northwest.
This is a 16,000 gallon tank. The depth of it is about 23 feet. Be doing your work, and then if you look to your right, you will have a rockfish usually staring at you or observing you and watching. They're very curious. They're much like cats.
And today, we're all tuning in as the divers test out a brand new way to talk with visitors from underwater.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thanks to a generous donation from David,
This is the first interpretive dive where I can talk to the public.
the zoo now has a communication system that lets divers speak with guests,
Hi.
Hi there.
turning silent observation
What's that orange fish?
into conversation.
The orange one is a rockfish.
How many fish in there?
30 or more. I had an idea about utilizing underwater communication systems, and that really super excited me for the ability to talk to the public like we're doing now.
Hi.
Hi there. What's your name?
David.
Hi, David. I am David too.
And we can educate them and hopefully inspire the next generation of scuba divers and conservationists.
Do you want to tell them your favorite animal? Giraffe.
That's a fun one.
We watch kids wave with wide-eyed wonder, while mom settles the score in a silent game of rock, paper, scissors.
How many dives have you done?
This is my 501 dive. I get to go in the water basically every week. You don't know which take you're going to be in until you get here.
Holiday time, we do have a Santa diver. We do have Santa Claus that gets in the water and interacts with guests.
Even Nora the polar bear is intrigued.
She's really into dive equipment, so anytime we have dive equipment, she's like ready to it looks like she's ready to go diving with us.
From deep dives to underwater chats,
We're heading up, Bonnie.
this team cares for the creatures behind the glass, helping to share their world with ours.
This is David and Micah signing off.
The weirdest thing the divers say they found in the tank, a tortilla. They think it was possibly dropped from a crow.
I wonder if the fish eat the tortillas or
Or
you
what?
know,
How'd
what
that
happens
happen?
to that
Yes.
thing.
I love the microphone with those kids and everything. How cute was that?
Some jobs you just have to dive right in.
Very good, Tisha. Very good. That's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. She's so creative, isn't she? I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching and thank you.
You're welcome. On the next Investigate TV Plus, a single missing signature leaves a grieving daughter in limbo after her mother's death.
We also are being held responsible for figuring out how to get it and how to get this legal document signed.
We uncover why it took months to get her mother's death certificate and examine a national problem contributing to the delay.